I was 16 years old. I was doing all the normal 16-year-old stuff. I was hanging out with my friends, planning for college. And then all of a sudden we had that conversation over a breakfast that my father was diagnosed with a tumor. And at that point, things started changing. My perception on, I guess, just childhood and seeing everything with my family so close has changed to the point where I was starting to put things on hold. My father went in for the surgery. After that, I spent every day after school going back and forth to the oncology center here, just giving my father the ride because he wasn't able to. I learned a lot from my father. My father was my closest confidant, my best friend, taught me everything, my role model, told me how to keep my head strong, keep a positive vibe through any sort of hardship. So it was something obviously that I did throughout the whole treatment and everything. But after so many, with such time, things were changing, behavior was changing in him. I'm sure we all seen it, He wasn't as easy to get along with. It was harder to get through each day by, with him in the house. The overall demeanor of everything just dropped. I had to try and pick it up. It was hard. I kept a lot of my emotions bottled up. I couldn't go to anybody really. My mother was dealing with the same thing, and there wasn't really an outlet for me. I kept everything bottled up, and I still do. It's really hard for me to even sit here and talk about it. Recently I skipped out on one of my friend's parents' funerals because they were a victim of cancer as well. I have a friend right now who's dealing with dementia. I haven't even seen her once, and she's been home for the last 3 months. It's something that I'm going to deal with every day, and it's not going to get much easier. But one of the hardest things was definitely the behavior changes, and it's hard to even deal with now. I don't know.
Can I ask
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
You were older compared to some of the kids in this room. Do you remember understanding why the changes were happening?
My mother and my father, of course, sat me down and told me about what I should prepare for and all the things. But even with preparation, it doesn't really
Didn't make
help.
it any easier.
It doesn't make it much easier.
Yeah.
No.
And that's where I said earlier, you really can just do the best you can do. And I think you did the best you could do. And sometimes it's just really, really hard.
Taylor, if there was one thing, and this would be my question, if there was one thing somebody could have done now in retrospect, what would it have been? That would take the stress off of you.
Just an outlet for discussion. Pat had said he's sought therapy and help through a therapist. I was never that type of person to talk about my emotions with a complete stranger. And it's kind of hard to say that you can run to anybody and say this, but they won't understand you. They won't understand what you're dealing with. I tried, convening with some of my friends, and that's even hard. You're 16 years old, none of your friends have dealt with it. It's hard to even lay on to one of them to figure out, hey, what would you do? When my father was there, any sort of instance, any sort of situation where I might find myself in a bind, I would call him. And you were saying going around to the other parent, it was something that I never had done before, and even at that point, it was all a learning process, and always will be from now on.